Forged from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners, wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection, and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. NETT Radio.
Te doy
everybody. How are you guys doing this beautiful, good-looking Monday morning? Yes, it is. Welcome, everybody, wherever you may be. Trinidad and Tobago, good morning. Neighbors in the Caribbean, good morning. Friends and family streaming all around the globe, good day to you. And of course, thank you so much for waking up with us and making us your choice. This is New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio, heartbeat of the Caribbean, taking you above and beyond. It really is such a wonderful day. Let me say much thanks to the Heavenly Father as always, bringing us together for another one, and all that we do, dear God. Let it be a blessing, honor to you. Sir Charles, yes, that is me. Happy am I to be in this space with you. As we welcome everybody to the Get Up and Go. This is your breakfast show.
Get up, it's the time to start the day. The breakfast show is here. We bring in the soca way. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Morocco's Bay to the Savannah line. Let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink. Good morning. Good morning. Open your eyes, feel the light. Everything's gonna be alright. Good morning. We're wishing you a colorful day. Let the sunshine guide you on your way. Smile a little, let your worries fade. Good morning. May your heart feel light and free. So much joy in everything you see. Good morning, yeah, a beautiful day. Good morning.
Well, it's such a beautiful day. And of course, we are here with you in the land of the living. So good morning, everybody, wherever you may be tuning in from. We welcome you to New Era TT Radio. It's NETT Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean, taking you up, above, and beyond. I don't know, but I really hope that you guys had a fantastic week and weekend. And I'm hoping that you all are in a really good mood and ready for everything that will be coming your way. Because trust me, there are plenty of things that will be coming your way. So let me say good morning to my co-host, Richard, who will join us sometime within the platform this morning. And of course, good morning, sir. Welcome back.
Morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Richard. Morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It's Monday morning in Trinidad and Tobago. It's Monday evening in Japan. And it's Monday afternoon in Ethiopia. And also, what is it? Some parts of Europe. But good morning. It's good to be in the land of the living. Condolences to those who would have lost loved ones, and happy birthday to those who are celebrating birthdays today.
Yeah, right. It's a beautiful day, man. Beautiful weekend.
But it was raining this morning. I think I saw somewhere that we supposed to get a yellow level alert today. I'm not sure, from 4 a.m. to 5 p.m. I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah, I read something like that too. I can't remember the timing, but I know I read something about a yellow level alert that's on. Yeah. But it has been, I think, from yesterday, because some parts of South, they say Barrapo and some other areas, they have been underwater, man.
I saw that. I saw some videos too. But somehow the other, the complaints are muted, about flooding, have they been muted? Maybe it's not as bad as it used to be.
And that is what you could say. It's not as bad as it used to be, but
you know.
But I haven't heard a single soul complain about flooding lately.
Yeah, you know, because like, you know, there was some areas that were definitely flood prone areas. Every time it rains, you would hear, you know, we know they sorted out that they seem to have sorted out that Greenville situation. But other areas, Aranguez, some parts of Caroni and stuff, and we normally hear a lot of flooding in those areas. But I have not seen or heard much really within the last, since we started getting the rains, the way it has been coming out of those areas.
Okay.
Yeah. As before, you know, I don't know. But I know, you know, I know basically the last administration, well, I don't know how much this administration is and continues to do, but I know they had been doing a lot of work in clearing water courses, widening some of those river mouths and different things, you know. So maybe all that is probably to the credit also why we're not hearing it as before. I don't know.
Well, let's hope it, because I know Woodbrook, we haven't had floods in Woodbrook that always used to flood. We haven't had floods in Woodbrook for a little while now. Even though it doesn't appear that Fatima River has anything to do with it, because that river by Fatima is still in a mess. So whatever they did years ago, maybe down by, I think they did it down by the foreshore by what's that place, Movie Town area there, that fixed that, you know. But we haven't had that kind of flooding in Woodbrook for a little while either. You know, so kudos to whoever doing whatever they're doing. I hope that they continue to do it so that we could get an ease up. But I was reading up on this issue of data centers, Sir Charles. I see that's a big thing now. That's a big thing in the news for Trinidad and Tobago now. And I was reading up on it this morning because I don't know anything about it. And I was reading how it uses an extreme amount of electricity and water. And I'm saying, okay, it sounds a bit like I don't know if it will get the same kind of feedback, the same kind of response that the smelter plant got. You know what I mean? But let's see. Different governments, different times. We'll see how that goes. But maybe we could try to get in touch with the minister responsible for that ministry. I think is Dominic Smith is his name. He hasn't been speaking much, has he?
Most people have not been speaking much.
But he in particular, with an important ministry like that, because I think he is public admin and digitization or something, or AI or something. But you've literally heard nothing from him for the past year since he's been appointed. I reached out to him and he never did respond. But Minister Dominic Smith, if you're listening, we would love to have you on the show to explain the issue, the purpose of this data center. I mean, people just have to Google it and see, because that's what I did. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's it. We have so many.
What is a data center?
Yes?
What did you call it?
A data center.
Okay,
They said AI data center, actually. The primary purpose of an AI data center is to provide the extreme computational power, high throughput storage, and ultra-fast networking required to train, deploy, and operate artificial intelligence models. But they also said, when you go down a little further, what are the cons of an AI data center? AI data centers present critical challenges due to their massive resource demands. A single facility can consume as much electricity. Listen to this. A single facility can consume as much electricity and water as a mid-sized city, driving up utility rates for local residents, straining power grids, and causing localized air and noise pollution. And it causes higher utility bills in terms of the infrastructure. So it'll be interesting to hear an explanation as to this direction that this government wants to go with AI data centers. It'll be very interesting to hear the pros of it. I just read for you the cons of it. You know?
Yeah, well, I am not hearing it, so I really don't know what it is. You know,
Yeah, Richard might be able to explain a little more because there's Richard. Richard likes these kind of things. Richard may have dived a little further into it, and in terms of his knowledge of these things, because he uses it a lot, you know. So he might be able to expand a bit more on it when he comes in at some point in time.
Yeah, because I you know, when I think of this whole thing about AI data center, but my mind didn't wrap around it in that kind of way, you know. So I too am very interested to find out more about it.
Yeah. But so many other things happening in the news. Listen,
Well, before you get into all the other things, you know, have you been watching the football?
You know, I didn't watch for a few days, you know, and then I looked at,
you know, I hope you get some rest.
Rest.
Yeah.
I walk like I never walk in my life for the last.
You didn't go to rest.
I walk and I drive like I've never driven and walked in my entire life. I swear, I walked and drove like I've never done in my entire life.
Okay.
That much I could tell you. So I didn't get, I mean, the rest was there, but you know, I mean, because of, it was a holiday that I thoroughly enjoyed, I have to tell you. You know what I mean? I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was long in planning, and I was happy that we did it, you know what I mean? It was an absolute fantastic holiday. I'll tell you about a bit more about it at some point in time.
Okay, no problem. Well, the football is down to the final four now. All right, and we have France. Well, today is like a rest there, you know. So we have France going up against Spain. That's tomorrow, and then we have Argentina going up against England. So you can mix, match it, cross it any which way. That is the big four right now, and we could probably see Argentina playing France in the final again. Or would Spain or England step up to the plate and move out any one of those individuals? Because, I mean, the teams now are very capable of almost anything. I think it's as even as it could get now in the World Cup, because Spain is relatively a good team, and England has been playing really well. So it's like anything could go from here on in. But the next couple of days will determine it all as we get ready for that final that'll be Sunday coming? Yeah.
Yes, for Sunday coming. I think one semi-final is tomorrow and the other semi-final is Wednesday. And then you have that break up until Sunday. You know, may the best team win. I mean, I still, after all the African teams got cheated and knocked out, I said I was back in France, so I will remain a French supporter. The only team out of the three I don't want to win, of course, you know, is Argentina. Out of the four, I should say, that I don't want to win is Argentina, because they've just been lucky and having a time of their life with these referees. England, Spain, or France, I'm good with. You understand? Not Argentina. And I did make the promise if Argentina wins the World Cup. I don't know where you get this thing if Argentina win.
Oh, it was the World Cup?
I said if they won the World Cup.
Oh, okay. All right,
which some people seem hell-bent on making sure it happens. The referees seem hell-bent. VAR seems hell-bent on making sure Argentina at least reach the final and probably win. Damn set of thieves.
Oh, Lord. Such language should not be in the beautiful.
No, I didn't watch much football over the last week. I have to tell you that. I didn't watch because the time where I was, it was the time difference was. I ain't getting up that early morning to watch no football.
Right.
You know.
All right. Well, let's get into good news, and then we will come back and greet people in the street.
One of my daughters asked me a question the other day, so I promised her that I will talk about it today. She asked me to explain to her why men crave respect far more than they crave love. I just laughed because I have answered this same question 1,000,000 times during my 30 years of active service as a marriage and relationship counselor. And I will never stop talking about it because it is the bone of contention if you ever wish to have a happy home. So I will keep on talking about it till I meet my ancestors. Number one is submission. Respect begins where pride ends. Submission is not weakness, and it is not silence. It is wisdom. It is the quiet strength of a woman who understands order and timing. Our people say that the river that flows gently will always reach the ocean, but the one that fights every stone will dry along the way. Submission is that gentle flow. It is choosing peace over unnecessary battles, choosing understanding over constant resistance. A woman who submits does not lose her voice, she refines it. She knows when to speak and how to speak. She knows that a home is not built on competition, but on alignment. In the village, we say 2 rams cannot drink from the same small pot without breaking it. When there is constant struggle for control, something will break. If not the home, then the hearts inside it. Submission is the wisdom to recognize leadership and support it, not sabotage it. It is not blind obedience, but intentional cooperation. It is saying, I am with you, even when the road is uncertain. Because every man, no matter how strong, carries battles you may never see. And a wise woman does not add to that burden.
You're brave.
Something to think of.
You're a brave man to show good news like that.
Yes, there's something to think of.
You're a brave man to show good news like that. Oh dear Lord.
It's one for the guys. The guys don't need any more British ladies. They need support.
Yeah. I said a woman stupid and that right now.
Yeah, we need support.
Oh Lord.
I can hear it on also. What do we? What we don't want support too.
Exactly.
We need to support each other. You know. But the question was asked about men, so the man was answering it in that regard.
Yeah. I said the woman sit down in the audience just cheering at him.
I feel given the woman that we know one thing, and I am sure they listen very intensely and say, you know what, maybe I need to give the man a little more attention. Maybe I need to be a little more respectful. Some cussing them so much.
Why? You're the old with that one, yes?
I can see the woman in our chat saying that, man. Yeah. You know what?
Oh, you didn't tell that woman that want to talk to me in this chat and buffing me up and telling me what we could say and how we should act.
Oh, God.
You could get that woman and them to agree with that, man. Hey, you, man. Anyway, let's greet the folks in the chat. Robert Allen says, good morning. This is the day the Lord has made. Stephanie Santana, pleasant good morning to the breakfast crew and everyone locked on. Ava Smith, blessed rising, Wendell, Richard and Sir Charles, Kenny and Harlem, Manuela Peters, Mrs. R up bright and early this morning, 4:58. Oh, you ain't sleep yet. Diane Payne, blessed morning. Margaret Thomas, Apollonius, Marcia Rock out there in Orlando, Florida. Odell Guy, how's the weather in Orlando, Florida these days? Listen, I have families are all over this globe now. Parents, you see parents with children all over. It's holiday time, of course. Odell Guy, good morning. Trinman also says, have a blessed Monday. Pamela O'Connor, Carol Guevara, good morning all. It's a wet one today. Boy Bidesi and David, Erica Charles, Carla Hercules, John Cato, Michael Eastman, Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona. How's the weather out there? Robert Taylor, good morning, guys. Deborah Noel Surrett, Gavin Frank out in Powder Magazine, Joyce Philip, Empress Reyes, Lal, Katian Charles. I'm also saying good morning. Anne Noel, good morning, guys. Blessed Monday from Oshawa, Ontario. Shirma Paul, Ian Stewart, Black Leo, good morning to each and every one. He is also out there in Orlando. I'm assuming it's a he. I'm not sure. Sankofa says divine greetings. What? Mom's funeral? Sankofa, your mom died?
Yeah, Sankofa's mom passed.
Oh my God.
Yes, last week or week before.
My deepest condolences, Sankofa. I didn't know that. I met her before, you know. As a matter of fact, she carries this exact same name as my mother did, Cynthia Walcott. My mother was Cynthia Walcott, and so was yours. Wow. My condolences, Sankofa, to you and the entire family. All right. Joyce Phillip, you were missed. I guess that's for me. Good morning to the breakfast team from Valerie Mendoza. Mrs. R say, hey, look who back. You're sure right, I'm back. The torment on the tail this week. Julia Samantha, good morning, guys. Welcome back, Wendell. Joyce, thank you very much. And for all those who are telling me welcome back, let me say it from now. Thank you very much, right? I won't read all, especially if you already said good morning, right? Cheryl Maraj, good morning. It's raining in Trinidad City. Arlene Lewis, good morning, everyone. Ron DeSantis picking up a new hobby or sport like tiddlywinks instead of FIFA. Okay. Chris Toussaint, morning, gentlemen. Wendell, why you having so much clothes? I tell all you, is if Argentina win the World Cup, it had nothing to do with the match. And you see, they ain't winning. They ain't even winning. Referees making sure they win.
No, the team winning, baby yourself.
Oh, yeah, break, eh? Winning what? Cheryl Maraj, happy to see you. Lunoal, that's Luan Muking. How are you going, Luan? Morning. Hillbench, good morning, Wendell. Richard, welcome back, Wendell. Don't forget, please. Yes, I'm gonna speak with Sir Charles and the guys later on today, hopefully, to have something done for Hillbench. Yeah? Sir Charles, remind me, right?
Okay.
Alistair Hart says, good morning. Ron DeSantis again. Magic Grand Rising, gentlemen. You never walk and drive like it did for the past week to it. Sadkova says, so like all you don't understand how the politics of flooding works, true, eh? Yeah, one thing about the UNC supporters, they discipline with that, eh? Kazim Mohammed, welcome back. UNC people don't complain about flooding. There's Ingrid from Tucson, welcome back. You're a sight for sore eyes. Oh boy. Am I looking that good? I had a haircut done yesterday. Debbie Modest, good morning, gentlemen. Deborah Noel, the rest.
Everybody will notice when you have a haircut.
True, eh?
You and Richard. Yeah, we must realize when you guys have a haircut. Yeah.
Richard head does be shining. I had don't shine as much as Richard had. You know? And no part of the world cold now, so you notice a darker than normal. Wayne Ramsey. Good morning, Melchizedek. Good morning. Chris Toussaint, there's been a lot of pushback on data centers in the US. They use a significant amount of water and electricity. Yes, that's what I've read. Scorpion Pepper, good morning. Dean Allen, hi everyone. Wendell, just soon people want to know, well, the data center is one thing. The way they want to acquire the land is the story. Is that what that land thing about in Trinidad City? Is to put the data center? Is that what you're hinting there, Dean?
I don't know if it's that. You know?
But that's what you're hinting, I guess. Scorpion Pepper, please don't resume. Scorpion Pepper, you ain't reading news lately. Trinidad and go hopeless. You ain't gonna get me to change that. Hey, you trying to tell me what to say? It's hopeless. Imagine a government minister. Let me digress just a bit. Imagine a government minister comes out and says that a gangster was held and confessed to the police that he get paid by a former government minister. Well, he was offered money. I don't think he get paid. I think he did sweeten him up with some little amount of thing guys were reading. By a former government minister to kill this government minister. Why? Because he talks too much. That's why I'm reading it. You know when this happened? December last year. This didn't happen the other day, you know. December last year. That is when this gangster allegedly reported to the police that a former government minister paid him or offered him payment to kill Barry Padaran for talking too much. You ever hear nonsense? So you trying to tell me this place I hope? You mad. You've got to be mad. Melchizedek, we have centers in Trinidad on a small scale. Morning, Richard.
Good morning, guys. Morning and morning to our listeners and viewers.
Yes. I'm now currently going through the chat, so I don't know if you'll catch up with me.
Okay.
You can highlight what people say anyway. Stephanie Santana, Richard, you were deeply missed. Richard, you went somewhere?
No, she must mean you.
Okay. Carlisle Cupid, blessings all. Nadia Stephen, good morning. Yvette Scipio says good morning. Trinidad Margot, welcome back, bro. Thanks, Nadia. Dean Allen, Lord, what kind of red pill manish thing is this, Charles? Where's that? The good news.
Yeah, what's somebody tell me what the good news?
You're going to get links on that good news,
Yeah, but if you want to know, and I'll just give me 1 minute, as I mentioned. If you want to know the good news, go up to YouTube and get the good news. I'm not sending the good news to anybody. It's too many of you requesting it. So go up to YouTube and you will see it there. One person say, Lord, that's all they can play this morning.
I started listening to that. I said, where should Charles get this?
And it is a female, eh?
A female sending for you?
Lord, that's all they can play this morning.
A woman set you up. So a woman set you up. All right. Very hot in Orlando, so says Marcia Rock. Sankofa say, Priest Charles, I would say vice. Oh, okay. That is about the good news too. Well, good morning from Kim Govaya. Kurt Hope, good morning. Claire Lendo Rollins, Carlisle Cupid. For some of us, it's difficult to support people who don't recognize us as equal human beings, even in sports. That's just the diversity and nuances of it. But it's not just Argentina as take. Anyway, only read up on it now. It's policy decisions from Argentina. This isn't just a black player not getting an opportunity. It's absolutely deliberate in Argentina. CJ from New York, good morning. Morning, CJ, my darling. Kerwin Dupe, a most pleasant and wonderful day to everyone. All right. Good morning, Richard from Cheryl. Yes, Wendell, they won the aquifer. Okay, so that is what... Stephanie Santana says she meant me. And Sankofa, you're getting condolences from folks on the chat. I really was not aware your mom passed away. So, again, my deepest condolences. All right, so those are all the greetings on the chat, folks. Richard is still going through them, so you could still hold on just a bit. I have no other messages.
Well, by the time he does that, let me tell you what's going on the WhatsApp. So we had Ingrid coming in very early out here from Arizona, Kent in Laventille, Peter Wilson in St. James, Mr. Beeps in PD Valley, good day to you. Frank in Aruka, CJ out there in New York, Captain Ron is in, I think, Brooklyn. These days, Archbishop Ashton Clark in Canada, Mr. Augustine, good day to you. Brenda in Penal, Judith in Mount St. George, Tobago, Mr. Billy in Powder Magazine, Rena Boodoo Jennings, Pidi Valley, and of course, Chris Susan is also here, and Dr. Maharaj, good day to you. Have a fantastic day, everybody, and all the people on Gael Caribbean TV on our different platforms. We wish you a very special good morning. All right, so we're going for that break, and then we will come back and we'll see what's happening. And you guys get to talk with Richard when we come back. All right, so stay with us.
Are you a business owner? Well, take advantage of NETT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV Christmas in July advertising special. Throughout the month of July, enjoy 33% off all advertising packages. Whether you are micro, small, medium, or large business, now is the perfect time to put your product and service in front of the people who matter. Reach your audience through radio, television, and social media, all at 33% off. Don't miss this limited Christmas in July offer. Call us today at 281-1315 or 299-5156 and let NETT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV help you grow your business. But hurry, this special offer ends July 31st. It's Christmas in July on NETT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV.
all you NETT Radio listeners and fans. It's time to pack your cooler, gather your crews. Join us on NETT Radio, Halloween Cooler Crew in red, white, and black. On board the luxurious Island Royalty, Saturday, 15th of August. Boarding at 7 p.m. from Hardcuts, Shagaramas. We sail at 8 p.m. sharp. Enjoy great music all night long from your favorite NETT DJs. Sir Child, CJ, Mr. Flavor, Doc International, RJ, and Fluffman.
Tell you you's a big dancer. Come show
Early bird tickets are just $200, after $250. Get your tickets now at Crosby in St. James, Rumba, St. James, Bobby's Bar in Kure, Fats International in Arima, K Square Fashions at C3 Center, West Mall, and Eastgate Small, and all NETT DJs. No glass bottles allowed. Bring your coolers, bring your crews, and let's celebrate together. NETT Radio, Halloween Cooler Crew, Saturday, August the 15th, aboard the Island Royalty. For information, call 638-2609 or 497-7173. Halloween on the sea.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio, NETT Radio.
End times is here. Are you prepared? Check us on New Era TT Radio or NETT Radio with Brother Raka and Brother Yatazakawa on Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. End times is here. Stay tuned.
I was seeing some talk in the stream. Is it that government websites are down?
I'm not
government websites. Government websites. Yeah, I saw somebody mention it, like in passing, about government web. Now I know they were saying that there was some cyber. Did they say there was a cyber attack of some sort on some government websites? But I don't know if they are all down, or if it is only some are affected. I'm not sure. But
I'm actually seeing it now. I didn't see that. I missed that because it's from Kim Govara said, news last night reveals government websites are offline, no services. But she's asking a question. She's not saying that with any certainty. She's kind of asking the question.
I want to believe that too, because I was trying to get onto one of them last night, and I just couldn't get on. I was like, and of course I was saying, "Oh Lord, government inefficiency again." That's where my brain went. I said, "How could your website be down?" But maybe it's a lot of government websites. I don't know. I don't know if anybody in the stream has any confirmation of that. If it's So there's so many websites you may need to access.
Yeah.
And are government connected.
Well, maybe there's another way of slowing up the demand for passports.
No, there was some cyber attack or something. I remember that story.
Okay, I don't know. I didn't follow much news lately, no, honestly. But I mean, the news is just too bloody depressing now. It's just every day is just bombarding you with this thing about death threat, this thing about investigation, this thing about, it's just bad news. And I mean, two of the news that hit me this morning is this young man who was murdered down Chaguaramas. The local LGBTQI advocacy advocate, what is his name? Kobe Daniel Thomas. I mean, and it's like another life lost for what? Nobody knows. You know what I mean? And then there's another story of a pharmacist who was found dead in his room by his family. He probably committed suicide because they found him with a whole set of pills and all kind of thing. You know what I mean? Young people, and it's just like every day you're just being bombarded with this darkness, and it's just getting to me. I have to tell you, it's getting to me. You know?
And then you had the 14-year-old student also, the girl that died also. And the autopsy is saying that she was battered. Her father thought that she had committed suicide, but the autopsy is saying something different. So all that is plenty of things are happening.
Yeah. It's just, and then the politics is not improving. It has not improved for years now. It's been going downhill for the last few years, and it's I don't know if it could go lower than this, but it probably can.
Well, let's see what's in the newspapers today now.
Today is Monday, July 13th, and the headline in today's Express, this is the Physical Express, people. Kamala, prove Balize funding. I have to shake my head at this because I don't know where this story comes from. Anyway, PM challenges PNM to produce receipts for party headquarters. Balize House located, and there's a picture of Balize House located on Tranquility Street. It will be very interesting to see where this goes. Very, very interesting. I don't know if this is another way of dealing with when the former Prime Minister, now deceased, had bring a picture of her residence into the parliament, because that wasn't nice then. And so I don't know if this is that revenge taking place, right? We'll see. TMT Muslims bring aid to quake victims. This is good news. There's a picture of concerned Muslims of Trinidad and Tobago in collaboration with Helping Hands USA and Muslim Hands UK, as they distribute approximately $20,000 worth of hampers yesterday to families affected by last month's earthquake in La Guaira, Venezuela. There's a picture on the front page. In other news in the Express, produce the evidence. Young condemns orchestrated attack on PNM. Well, only in politics, expect worse. US $20,000 in quake aid for Venezuela. In the dark on party finance, that's Transparency International. And no party has agreed to campaign finance reform. But yet, none of them. But yet, we asking how this bill and how that bill and how this you can afford this and how you can afford that. We don't have legislation to deal with that. Pride TT in mourning as young Kobe Daniel Thomas was murdered by a single gunshot to the back of his head. 3 charged in Mayaro crime spree. 2 cars stolen from Sando Masi Motors compound. Grief over scout leader ganja planter arrested. Police gear recovered. And those are all trending stories in the Express. In the back, floods in South. There's a picture of streets and flash flooding at Kumuto Trace South in Barapur following heavy rainfall yesterday. All right. And of course, the World Cup continues with the 4 top-seeded teams, actually, who have made it to the semifinals. All right. That's it for today's Express.
So I'll start with the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, but just in some international news, Sam Neill died. I don't know if you all talked about that. No. He's the actor from Jurassic Park, best known for Jurassic Park. All of Jurassic Parks, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, Sam Neill. The original Jurassic Park, because you know they have new ones now.
Was he also one of those horror movies? Remember, he was in a horror movie too. as Satan, I think.
I remember.
Yeah.
Man, he passed apparently at the age of 78 or 72. I remember. Anyway, let me get to the Trinidad and Tobago Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for this morning. Central businessman challenges detention. Court grants him leave to contest SOE order 3 months after cops raided property allegedly used as brothel. Man shot dead outside La Romaine bar. PNM slams Barize house distraction. Economists call for government accountability of HSF drawdowns. Stakeholders back steel plant restart but warn against secrecy. And in some business use, borrow status gives Superior a platform for growth. TNT's energy expansion endangers coral reefs. PriceSmart borrows $20.8 million US to address TNT's forex crunch. Businesses at TIC say they are navigating volatility, and exhibitors at 2026 TIC forex shortage impacting confidence and investment. And when is that TIC finished? I wonder, I haven't gone to it in so many years. But anyway, Anthony breaks Copper's 35-year-old swim record. Zahara Anthony of Marlins wrote her name into history books when she erased a 35-year-old record held by former Olympian Siobhan Cropper on the penultimate night of competition in the Aquatic Sports Association of Trinidad and Tobago National Age Group Short Course Swimming Championship. So congrats to her. Club Sando UTT to clash in WOLF final. Ward and Watterson pull off Sagicor Junior Tennis upsets, and Chihuahua races to 200 meters and NACAC gold. And okay, the rest of it is kind of like features and stuff like that. So that's it for the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for this morning. Some websites are down. I tried going on to some. Some are loading, but some are not at all.
Wow. Well, that must be kind of traumatic for a lot of people, especially what ministry did that come under? The same ministry we're talking about with the AI data centers? Public admin, and?
Public admin usually deals with online service. Let me see public administration or up.
Anyway, good morning to all of the others who joined us on the chat. Cheryl Henry, LG, Rena Jennings.
No, public administration is up.
Public admin is up?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, people, let's do our Did You Know segment and come back. I hope it will be not as controversial.
Being negative can slowly destroy your life, and I do not say this to scare you. I say this because the body is always listening. Every time you wake up thinking something bad will happen, your body believes you. Every time you focus on what is missing, who hurt you, what went wrong, and what may fall apart, your mind becomes trained to expect pain. And after many years, this does not feel like negativity anymore. It feels like your personality. But listen carefully. It is not your personality. It is a pattern your nervous system learned because life disappointed you too many times. So now, even when something good comes, you do not enjoy it. You question it. You wait for it to leave. And this is how negativity steals from you. Little by little, it steals your sleep, it steals your energy, it steals your patience, it steals your ability to feel peace, because the mind that always expects disaster will keep telling the body to prepare for war, and a body preparing for war cannot feel safe, but your mind can be trained again. Gratitude is not pretending life is perfect. It is teaching your brain to notice what is still good. Every morning, before you touch your phone, name 3 things that are still okay. Your breath, your home, your body still trying. Do this long enough and your mind will stop searching only for danger. You are not too old to change. You are not too damaged to heal.
All right, good advice. Because you're never too old to change.
Train up your mind. Train up your mind. And think positive thoughts. That positive things happen.
Yeah. So if we have to take just the 2 latest bits of news, because as I say, I didn't follow too much over the last few days. But if we just have to take the 2 latest bits of news, right? Well, the 3, because the issue of the Hadids still in detention with no charge has to be concerning to everybody, regardless of what you think about the Hadids. It has to be concerning that 2 people have been detained under allegation that they conspired to kill the Prime Minister. Right? That has to be concerning to everybody. Right? That part has to be concerning, but the fact that they've been detained without charge has to be even more concerning. Right? And then we're hearing about the land thing that everybody had kind of brushed off at the beginning. Remember when we played the clip from Rhoda? Everybody kind of dismissed it. But guess what? It turned out to be exactly that this is about land. So where the conspiracy to murder charge coming? Now we're hearing of another conspiracy to murder from a sitting government minister who said that a former government minister allegedly paid a gangster, offered a gangster $250,000, and he had paid him like I think $3,000 already. And this gangster say he was paid to murder this government minister. For guess what? Talking too much. That's why I read it. I read that. I don't know how true that is, but I read that he said he just talked too much. Now this didn't happen after the government minister was in Hyatt Fed. This happened since December last year. And since then, this government minister has been very vocal. He has always been very vocal since he was in opposition. So, and we are now hearing about this. But the former government minister has not been detained at all. Where we going in Trinidad and Tobago? And now Balize House is coming under the question. The renovation of Balize House, because there are 2 buildings on that compound now, right? Where the car park was, there's a new building going up. I don't know if it's that building they're trying to investigate, because the renovation of Balize House, I know how most people contributed to that over several years. But that's not a new building, that's a renovated building, right? So, what is there to explain? I would imagine the treasurer, the PNM, or whoever would have a detailed explanation as to funds raised and whatnot and expended. You understand? So are we actually seeing distractions? Are these things meant as distractions? But distractions from what? Because the government is outlining certain plans that on the surface of it seems all well and good. So what are we being distracted from? Why are we being distracted? If we have to go with the politics that these things are meant as distractions, what is the cause of all this stress on the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago? It's unnecessary. And now the police, every time a government minister says something, the police launch an investigation. The police, it don't seem that they're actually investigating these things unless it comes from some government source.
Well, I mean, I can't answer that, but there certainly seems to be a a comfortable kind of relationship between the TTPS and the government. And not that that is necessarily a bad thing, but certainly the TTPS is supposed to maintain its own institutional independence and integrity. And the lines seem to be getting a little blurred from a lot of things you see coming out. Maybe that's just perception, and maybe it's not fact. With regard to the Hadids, well, that's something that, we have brought up several times. Either charge or release. Why are you detaining these people? Because if you claim that you have the evidence, then certainly charge. And if it is that you're just keeping people on a PDO for a reason, because after all of this time, you haven't collated that evidence. Similarly too with the man with the brothel, which came up as part of the news. If it is that you have evidence, charge. But a PDO can't just be a tool you use to be angry against people and detaining them with actually no specific charge against them. They have to be a threat, and you can't just, be saying that people are threats. If somebody's a brothel, charge and let the court system deal with them. If you're saying that the Hadids did X, Y, or Z, and you have all of this evidence, then charge, because you have the evidence. That's how the system should work. In addition to which, you have in Parliament, the government, moving to take back the state lands or cancel the state lands approval for the Orange Estate where Blue Waters is and stuff like that. That's what came out last week. And I also find that concerning because it's concerning from several perspectives. Because one, it looks personal now, and governance should not be personal. But certainly we know from our big neighbor up north, it gets very personal and very vindictive. Are we following that mirror or not? I'm not sure. But why would you, it just seems curious that you now seem to be so focused on the Hadids in terms of even their land leases. And let me tell you what is also troubling about that. I'm not even taking the Hadids out of the picture. It has to be concerning for business investment in the country. Because a lot of the time businesses lease lands in terms of business expansion, in terms of investment. It has to be that international investors are also looking on, because if a government starts to get personally involved or seems to be, because remember, perception is everything, and seems to be governing with personal decisions about whether somebody may or may not like them. That's not conducive really to business investment and confidence. They like that everything follows a certain impartial equality, that if you're giving me a lease, I know it's secure. But if it is that what somebody belonging to that business says X, Y, or Z, all of a sudden that could be under threat. That starts to eat away at business confidence. And this is not a time in which you need any eating away of business confidence. Now, the government did well. They got the $800 million bond, which is good news. It means that there's still confidence in the Trinidad and Tobago economy. Of course, economists will weigh in on whether that's a good move or not, and what you're going to use it for. But I don't necessarily have problems with things like that if it is that the 800 million US is to quadruple or triple by the investments you're going to use it for, or whatever infrastructure you're going to put in place that is going to give a benefit for the borrowing or the issuing of that bond. So I don't necessarily fundamentally have a problem with it, but I'm not an economist. Economists, the drawdowns in the HSF, same things. I don't mind that you draw down on the HSF if it's towards some end to do it. So I wouldn't by default criticize the government for those things. The data centers, I'm just going through some of the news that came out over the weekend. The data center agreements or MOUs that they have signed with certain American companies, and I assume this is because the U.S. is has a very warm relationship with Trinidad and Tobago right now, and this administration. At least that's how they made it come across in terms of the press release. Data centers, are they good or bad? Of course, in terms of environmental concerns, I'm not sure. That was just like the aluminum plant. I was never sure because there was so much noise that people didn't, sit down and articulate clearly. And certainly there was a lot of opposition at the time when Patrick Manning attempted to do that. But the same opposition that who's now the government now. Mm-hmm. Data centers, I know, consume a lot of water. And I know some people internationally have kind of pulled back in terms of using AI much because they say it's bad for the planet because those data centers consume so much energy and resources to function. That's something that I suppose will be a conversation going forward. Whether that in fact is so, how are they managing if these things come to fruition, because they're only MOUs at this point. But yeah, so there are some positive things in terms of the government making certain decisions. But you see that issue of attacking the leases, I found that concerning, and I was wondering how the business community is looking at that. Mm-hmm. And is this telegraphing to them, don't be at crosswinds with us?
Yeah, but Richard, you could do that. You could do that without those type of allegations and a PDO. I mean, where is that coming from? You understand?
Well, I mean, we don't know what it is the TTPS has, but obviously they don't have. If you're looking at it from a purely analytical point of view,
you think it's intelligence driven?
Well, it has to be. No, I don't know if it's US.
Don't let whether they around that hole.
I don't know if it's US intelligence pushing this or not. I don't know that it's giving them something, or if it is purely TTPS intelligence in getting to this point. But the point is, if it is that you have robust evidence enough, then charge. And if you don't, release.
Right. So let's go to the 707 news. Wendell, the poll.
All right, folks, do you think the TTPS investigation of Balize House is politically motivated? If you're voting yes, you vote 1. If you're voting no, you vote 2. Do you think the TTPS investigation of Balize House, well, it should be Balize House construction, is politically motivated? You all know the story, right? Yes or no? Vote on it, and when we come back from the news, we will open up the lines.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is NETT Radio News Now.
This is News Now on NETT Radio and Guile TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. Public Utilities Minister Barry Patterath says his security detail was increased after police received an alleged confession from a man claiming a former government minister offered him $250,000 to kill him. Patterath confirmed that his protection has been strengthened with support from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Special Branch. The man, who was in police custody on an unrelated matter, reportedly gave a statement to police alleging he was approached in November last year and offered money, weapons, and other resources to carry out the attack. The former minister named in the statement has not been identified publicly. Police have not confirmed details of any investigation into the allegation. The Balize House case could become a landmark test of Trinidad and Tobago's unexplained wealth legislation. Attorney Syra Locken says it appears to be the first reported case in which the law is being used against a political party, after the High Court ordered the People's National Movement, PNM, to explain the funding behind the construction of its headquarters. Locken stressed that the preliminary order is not a finding of wrongdoing, but said the case could help clarify how the law applies to political parties, and strengthen future unexplained wealth investigations. She added that the effectiveness of the legislation will depend on thorough investigations, specialized expertise, and its fair and consistent application, regardless of political affiliation. Meanwhile, the People's National Movement says it will vigorously challenge a high court order requiring it to explain the funding behind the construction of its Balasier House headquarters. The order was granted under Trinidad and Tobago's Unexplained Wealth Act after police applied for a preliminary order as part of an investigation into the multi-million-dollar project. PNM Chairman Marvin Gonzalez described the move as a politically motivated witch hunt, insisting the party lawfully raised funds through donations and fundraising activities over many years. He says the party has assembled a legal team and will pursue every legal avenue to defend itself, while accusing the government of using state institutions to target the opposition. Police are now investigating the death of 14-year-old Andrea Francis as a homicide after an autopsy found she was beaten and strangled. Andrea, who had recently passed for her first-choice secondary school in the SEA exams, was initially believed to have died by suicide after she was found unresponsive in her bed at her Enterprise home on July 4th. However, the post-mortem found she died from manual strangulation, blunt force trauma to the head and eye, and aspiration pneumonitis. Her father, Andy Francis, says he was shocked to learn of the findings through social media, claiming he was never informed of the autopsy results by investigators. Police say the investigation is ongoing and no one has been detained. New figures show the Strategic Services Agency intercepted more than 2 million phone calls and data communications between 2018 and 2023. But no convictions have been recorded from cases using that evidence. The disclosure comes as attorneys for 2 men being held under preventive detention orders challenge the government over the state of emergency, arguing that missing annual intelligence reports have prevented proper public scrutiny of the surveillance powers being used. The reports show thousands of interceptions, several arrests, and a handful of criminal cases, but no convictions linked to intercepted communications. Meanwhile, a new international report has also identified Trinidad and Tobago among countries believed to have used sophisticated commercial spyware between 2024 and 2026. Finally, a British couple is in intensive care after being rescued from a ravine during deadly wildfires in Spain's Almeria province. The couple, who are believed to have been hiking when they were caught in the blaze, were found badly burned and semi-conscious by civil guard officers early Friday. Rescuers said the pair suffered severe burns covering about 40% of their bodies and were taken to hospital for treatment. The wildfires have killed 12 people, including 4 believed to be British nationals, and destroyed more than 6,000 hectares of land. Authorities say the fire has now been contained, while hundreds of firefighters continue recovery and monitoring efforts. And that is NETT Radio News at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio. NETT Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Morning vibes, fresh energy. This is the NETT Radio Breakfast Show.
Mother of our firstborn king conceived her first offspring, gave birth in Holy Land to this giant of a man. This is how she played her part by giving us a star. History books will all now show how much to her we favor, then departed their own way, avoiding Herod, as they say. Then Mary flee the land to Egypt, child in hand, avoiding Herod all the way, who destroyed children as they play. In the highest, let us sing. Maria, 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 Maria. He is our Savior. Let's anoint his head with oil and serenade our firstborn Now the story goes to show the hardship mothers undergo by preserving her firstborn. Her light she also shone, even to the very end. A mother's love she lent, and now all is said and done, gave her only begotten son. Maria, Maria, sing Hosanna for King. In the highest, let us sing. Maria, 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 Maria. He is our Savior. Let's anoint his head with oil and serenade our firstborn boy.
Mornings just got better. You're locked into NETT Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
It is Christmas in July, and of course it's here right here on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio. What does that mean? Christmas in July. Well, besides we are playing you a whole lot of good Christmas music and stuff. Yeah, if you have a business and you'd like to advertise with us, guess what? All our packages right now, 33% off throughout this month of July, right? So when you place your orders now, 33% off just for you. So people, welcome inside of the second hour. Of course, this is the Breakfast Show, NETT Radio, and of course, Gal Caribbean TV. It's streaming to you Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. You get us here. Wendell Stephen, Richard Ragobar singing. Of course, yours truly, Sir Charles Weekly, the company in a nice kind of way. Good morning to the Anthem crew and all the people that came in along the way. All right. A couple things just to let you know that when we come off of the Gael feed and of course these social media platforms at 9 o'clock, you can come across so you can listen to us on our streams at nettradiott.com. That's nettradiott.com. And on all of our streaming platforms, so whether you're streaming on TuneIn, Radio Garden, Online Radio Box, MyTuner, Simple Radio. All you have to put in the search engine is NETT Radio Trinidad. NETT Radio Trinidad, and you're able to find us. Of course, all of our social media platforms, and we have plenty of things to tell you. Whether you are on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, or even our WhatsApp channel, which you can join and follow. It is NETT Radio Trinidad also. Easy branding across the platform for you, right? All right, It's our morning poll, so we're asking you this morning, despite everything that you hear, do you think that the TTPS investigation into Balize House construction, it is politically motivated? Yes. If you're voting yes, you're voting 1. If you're saying no, you're voting 2, right? And when we come back, we'll tell you exactly how you voted, right? And take your calls in between there also. Don't forget August the 15th. Yeah, a little more than a month away. We're getting ready for the Color Week Cooler Cruise. Make sure you pick up your tickets right now.
All aboard! Calling all you NETT Radio listeners and fans. It's time to pack your cooler, gather your cruise. Join us on NETT Radio, Color Week Cooler Cruise in red, white, and black. On board the luxurious Island Royalty, Saturday, 15th of August, boarding at 7 p.m. from Hardcuts, Shagaramas. We sail at 8 p.m. sharp. Enjoy great music all night long from your favorite NETT DJs, Sir Charles, CJ, Mr. Flavor, Doc International, RJ, and Fluffman.
Tell you you's a big dancer. Come show
Early bird tickets are just $200 after $250. Get your tickets now at Crosby in St. James, Rumba, St. James, Bobby's Bar in Kure, Pats International in Arima, K Square Fashions at C3 Center, West Mall and Eastgate Small, and all NETT DJs. No glass bottles allowed. Bring your coolers, bring your crews, and let's celebrate together. NETT Radio, Color Week Cooler Cruise, Saturday, August the 15th, aboard the Island Royalty. For information, call 638-2609 or 497-7173. Color Week on the sea.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Are you a business owner? Well, take advantage of NETT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV Christmas in July advertising special. Throughout the month of July, enjoy 33% off all advertising packages. Whether you are micro, small, medium, or large business, now is the perfect time to put your product and service in front of the people who matter. Reach your audience through radio, television, and social media, all at 33% off. Don't miss this limited Christmas in July offer. Call us today at 281-1315 or 299-5156 and let NETT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV help you grow your business. But hurry, this special offer ends July 31st. It's Christmas in July on NETT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV.
End times is here. Are you prepared? Check us on New Era TT Radio or NETT Radio with Brother Raka and Brother Yatazakawa on Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. End times is here. Stay tuned.
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio, NETT Radio.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Breakfast Show. Of course, we're inside the second hour here on NETT Radio. It's now 25 minutes past the hour of, 25 past the hour of 7 o'clock. So if you have to make a move, You have to make a move right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like the weather, it looks like we're going to have a very rainy day. I just walked outside there and it looks ominous.
It's going to be
That's
a lovely day. I better play
It's
that
going to
song
be
for
a
you.
rainy day.
Oh,
Galen, where? I wonder where
I'll be
Galen
stuck-
is.
I'll be stuck in the mud somewhere.
Home hog up. like really though.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
good. I can't understand why people don't love rain. Yeah, that's that.
So Charles, what? Anyway, I ain't going through this again. Huh?
Nah,
There's
you're
nothing you can
ready
do when
to
rain
go
falls
with rain.
except stay undercover.
Rain does two
Stay in
things to
shelter.
your body, man.
If you're in the office, you have to stay there. If you're home, you have to stay there. If you're in your car, sometimes you have to pack up and stay there.
Yeah.
How does that even make sense to people? That you're stuck wherever you are when rain is falling.
Yeah, the anticipation of getting home or even getting to the office.
Who anticipates going in an office, Charles, and being stuck there?
Yeah, it reduces it actually
comfortable office.
It actually also reduces productivity.
Yeah.
Because it's sometimes people say, you know what, I'm taking a day today. I'm not doing a battle with this rain.
Who does worry about productivity in Trinidad and Tobago with all these holidays that we love?
No. Plenty companies worry about productivity.
Yeah.
It's a fallacy, it's a kind of narrative that people sometimes buy into. But there are a lot of companies, government included, that look at the productivity of their employees. Don't get tired. And,
imagine if you have an outdoor job. There's nothing you could do. You can't do anything.
No, everything is paused.
Yeah.
Now, we understand the rain is important, but...
And then you know what it causes, Richard? The reservoirs to full, and then nobody gets water because of...
turbidity.
I am telling you, I am one that suffers because of that. Because once it starts to rain, there's the water going. But I still love the rain.
We know that, Sir Charles.
Hey.
That's across the country. Turbidity.
Yeah. Turbidity. I mean, just think about it. Rain disrupts. I mean, it is a necessity, yes, but it disrupts so many things, especially like, God forbid, if you're in the middle of construction and you're about to pour concrete or something. So, you know, what time I see the corporation concrete wash down the drain when they're doing drain and pavement and thing. You know, what time the morning hotter, and they say, good, we mixing concrete today, and you pour out concrete. Lunchtime come, pow, we'll wash everything away and start all over. How many times I see that happen?
Minor thing, man.
If we had a local Sesame Street, turbidity would be one of the words you're teaching children, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Let's learn a new word today. Let's go. Today the word is turbidity in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah. T? Give me a T. You. Give me a U.
You.
R.
B-I-D-Y. No, B-I-D-T-Y. B-I-D-T-Y. Turbidity. But what does it mean, Mr. Charles?
Who are the people in your neighborhood? In your neighborhood. In your neighborhood. Turbidity is someone in your neighborhood.
Boy, hey. They're just hating on the rain.
No, that wasn't on the rain. That was on WhatsApp.
Anyway, I have this thing to read for you. I mean, our poll is up, people, right? But I'll just flash it there for me. Do you think the TTPS investigation of the Balize House construction is politically motivated? Now, the TTPS has called for an investigation under a particular act. Let me get it for you. Right? Where is it?
You're confusing me, Wendell. The TTPS has called for an investigation.
Well, they are investigating the construction of Balize.
But they they don't call for an investigation.
Right.
You are the investigating body.
Right. They are investigating the construction of Balize House. Now, I'm trying to find the thing. Sir Charles put it up. Let me find where Sir Charles put it up. Sir Charles, you put it up earlier on, right? Under the preliminary unexplained wealth order, PUO, right? Just in case you didn't know, PUO, right? They're investigating the construction of Balize House. I want to read quick just this note from the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister noted, the most curious thing is that after years of rapid construction while in government, now, I don't know how rapid construction come in there because 10 years in government is a long time to put up a building. The PNM has been unable to continue any construction after losing the election. The newspaper exclusively reported on Saturday that High Court Judge Margaret Mohammed on Friday granted an order to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service compelling the PNM to explain its funding for the multi-million-dollar construction of Balize House located on Tranquility Street. You know how many police officers must be buy ticket, raffle ticket and all kind of thing to help Balize House? Anyway, police have been investigating Balize House, and on July 10th, Commissioner of Police Alistair Gavaro, who appointed Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police Ramdat Philip to lead the investigation, authorized him to make an application to the High Court for a preliminary unexplained wealth order in accordance with Section 58(1) of the Civil Asset Recovery and Management and Unexplained Wealth Act 2019. Now, this is an act passed by the said same PNM. The application for a PUO against the PNM and the party's trustees under the Civil Asset Recovery and Management and Unexplained Wealth Act 2019 was submitted to the High Court on Friday. The application names the trustees of the PNM as the first respondent and the PNM, represented by its General Secretary, as the second respondent. Listen to this part that all you didn't know. The Commissioner of Police is represented by, guess who? King's Counsel Anthony Pito Casey and Junior Counsel Thomas Cleaver of Blackstone Chambers in London, with attorney Diadai Harry Paul serving as instructing attorney. Now, when all they saw the four King's Counsel come, Richard, 4 attorneys from London come the other day.
There's 2.
2 come and then 2 more come.
And then 2 more. So I think it's 4 in one sit.
Right.
Okay.
We didn't know that. We thought it was all about the Hadid matter, not so?
Yeah.
Now we know that they also here to investigate, prosecute Balize House construction. Now let me tell all you something all you don't know. Balize House, the Balize House I know, and that all you know, is completed. It was renovated and completed, fully occupied, fully operational. What is not completed, and I and all used to question, why the hell that building taking so long? The only changing that is the new building where the car park was. That was meant for offices and so on, right? Yeah. So they could sustain itself and rent out those things. That is what is not completed. I don't know what they're calling that. I know Balize House completed. Balize House completed and has been occupied. There was so much so there was an opening of Balize House and it's occupied with offices and staff. That much I know. So I don't know.
The other part that you're talking about, that is not considered Balize House.
As far as I'm aware,
yeah.
That is a new office building. I don't know what they're going to call it after. The Rowley, keep Rowley offices. Know what they're going to call it. They'll name it after somebody, I guess. You understand? But, well, no, the clerical doesn't want to name after it. But that is what I know is not completed. And that, every now and then you would see work going on, just like any other construction.
Yeah. But I wonder if they are considering all of that as one and not a separate Balize House and then the extension of Balize House.
But there's no extension. It's 2 completely different buildings.
Oh, okay.
It's 2 completely different buildings.
But if it is, you have no information as yet. I'm just trying to logically connect the dots, which is always a little difficult in Trinidad and Tobago. But let's try and connect the dots. You're saying that they just got an order from Justice Mohammed for the People's National Movement trustees to comply or cooperate with the TTPS concerning the information, right? And I suppose presenting information.
Yeah.
That court order is pretty recent.
It was Friday last.
Right. So it means, therefore, logically, I'm just saying, I'm trying to connect the dots, that the TTPS doesn't have much information and they're trying to get it. How can you decide that the information they get will be actionable to hire 2 barristers from the UK to fight the case? You don't know if anything is actionable as yet.
And you've engaged 2 attorneys, a King's Counsel and the next one from London.
And is it specifically to do that, or is it also for the Hadid case?
Well, those is, as I say, it's 4 people here. 2 have been named in this matter.
Yeah, it's 4 people. Yeah. So it just seems, the sequence of events seems to not align, because you have to have some evidence of wrongdoing, and then attorneys attorneys are coming in to deal with the issue of a case, or are they part of the investigative process? And if they're part of the investigative process, is it that they're specialized in forensic accounting or something like that? Because that's where you would have to go. Remember, when you're dealing with stuff like that, it's forensic accounting you're looking at. And in terms of proving whether there was something done that was wrong. Now, let's pull back. Is all of this politically motivated? And I suppose this is a point at which we could bring up the results.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Sir Charles, you could.
This is a point at which we could bring up the results.
It's politically motivated.
Thank you, Sir Charles.
Wow, look at that.
So we had, how much is that, 98%?
98% saying yes.
So 98% are saying yes, it's politically motivated. 2% are saying no. So there are 2% saying no, they don't think it's politically motivated. I suppose the bigger question is, how much is this current administration really following the Trump administration playbook in dealing with political opponents? Because we may have a history of pecan going back and forth. We have had a history of people saying, "Oh, you do this and you do that," and and in past iterations of this program, you yourself, Wendell, have said, "Oh, they don't hold nobody, they don't hold anybody accountable," but you always hear things going back and forth that this government do wrong and that government do wrong, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
So, is this really attuned to the modus operandi of how the Trump administration works? And there's some people that I know are big supporters of the Trump administration and how they and their methodology in the diaspora and even in Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, there are people who don't, because it comes across as if you're weaponizing arms of the state to achieve a political end. Sometimes that's the view that people take. So is it that the government is really attuning itself to that methodology? Or is there legitimate concern that there really was some level of commingling of state funds, which is really where I think they're going, that there was some commingling of state funds to achieve the Balize House completion, even if they're calling the entire half a block, if you could call it a half a block, because that block kind of long, so it's not really, but let's call it half a block, whether they want to say that there was a commingling of state funds, and that's why they achieved what they achieved.
But Richard, I hear you, but the allegations and the accusations that came out prior is that it's funded by drug money, by drug lords, not commingling of state funds, it was said that drug money billeted. That's what was said. That's the allegation that came out in the parliament.
Well, first of all, you have to establish what is drug money and how are you proving that money that is, let's say, donated. Let's say there was a donation. How do you then drill down that is criminal funding?
Yeah.
How are you proving that? That's a difficult proposition, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you have to, first of all, accuse whoever did the funding of being a drug dealer. So you have to create that, and then if you're saying that, then you should be charging that person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're saying you are a criminal and you have committed criminal acts to get the funds that you have, and you've now contributed to a particular end. And then you also have to prove that trustees or whoever in the People's National Movement were aware that it was criminal funding.
They had knowledge of it, yes.
And that they accepted it knowing it was criminal funding. That all of those are hard asks to prove legally.
Mm-hmm.
Commingling of state funds is an easier fix if that occurred. Because you could actually see there would be a documentary trail and there should not be commingling.
Yeah.
Well, that state funds were used in some way. That's probably easier to prove, in my opinion. But then what do I know?
Richard, here was the most disturbing thing about what's happening. You see the political part of it? We expect that. The former Prime Minister Patrick Manning went to Parliament and hold up a big life-size picture of the now Prime Minister's home and said that, made certain allegations about her, that it was building all these years and it wasn't moving nowhere, and as soon as she became Prime Minister, it finished. That happened. That is the politics of it. I didn't agree with it then, and so I can't agree with this now. Right? So for people who do, just go back and check and see my opinion then. I didn't agree with that. Anyway, it was done. So you see the political part of it happening. I don't mind that, Richard. That's all part for the course. But how did TTPS getting involved in these things? Why is the TTPS allowing themselves to be used as some sort of weapon in this politics? That is my problem. And that should be everybody's problem. And everybody's concern that the Halids are now detained without charge because somebody say they conspired to murder the Prime Minister. And now this investigation into Bali's house, right? People should be concerned by the actions of the TTPS. The politics is all well and good. That's part of the course. It gets nasty, as we know. You understand? But the TTPS involvement is what
Dr. Job always used to say, Wendell, you can mount a tiger, but when you mount it, you better know how the hell you're coming off. And that's the difficulty that sometimes people encounter in life. You know, they may want to achieve a particular end, so they mount the tiger. But when the tiger starts to go its own way, because the tiger, has its own agenda, you have to realize, well, how am I coming off this tiger, boy? And so how is that all going to play out? Because the TTPS has to guard its institutional, in my opinion, independence and integrity, and anything that optically affects that, you need to address. But that is based on the premise that you care about the institutional independence and the look of an institutional independent organization. You have to first care about that. So, and I think that there are a lot of police officers that do care about that. But if you don't, then you don't really care that, however, you may simply say, Trinidad, which is a lot of times what politicians themselves say, Trinidad and Tobago have a 9-day memory. They will talk and have all manner of opinions, and then all of that will go to the side because something else will crop up, because we are a country that something else always crops up.
Yeah.
So you move on to the next thing, stopping, and everybody have opinions, noise, and everybody's and then something else crop up, and they switch. Ooh, look at this. That's constantly what we do. We go from topic to topic to
this
topic.
police commissioner, because we would have interviewed him. We were the first actually to interview him. Has to be extremely confident that he is not going to face the same fate as the former commissioner before him. Because look at the embarrassment they put her through after whoever gets upset with her. You understand? In the blink of an eye, a sitting commissioner was arrested.
Which is unheard of. Obviously there's a lot of, like, I suppose any institution, obviously there's a lot of jockeying in terms of positions in the TTPS. Behind the veil, obviously there's a lot of jockeying for power and who wants to be in whose good graces and stuff like that. I suppose like any company. But you know, it's a strange picture. It's like an artist painting a picture of contemporary Trinidad and Tobago, and the picture is materializing and you're not sure in which direction it's going. But you come back now to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, how do they feel? And I know when we were discussing it last week, we were talking about, are people fearful of expressing their opinions now with an atmosphere that seems to temper dissent? Or are people just regularly stating their opinion? And I know Sir Charles was of the opinion that, you know, he's not fearful. He can give whatever opinion he thinks. And he thinks the society is still giving their opinions. But some people in the... did we do that as a poll last week, Sir Charles?
I think so.
Right, and I think the majority were saying that they felt that there was a certain amount of fearfulness. So, you know, all of that is part of the picture that is being painted. And you're not so sure in which direction it's going. And it's sometimes can be confusing because the whole issue of how you speak to the country, the whole issue of how we speak to each other, and the narrative of the belligerence and combativeness of the conversation doesn't augur well, and it's coming from both sides. Less so from Penelope Beckles, which I think is to the chagrin of many other people who are supporters of the PNM who don't want her there because you have that group. So the PNM has its own problems to deal with.
Yeah, for sure.
Has its own problems because I see that Marvin Gonzalez, last week had said that he was going to speak with Ashton Ford, who had a lot to say. So maybe we could speak to Ashton and get a sense of what he's really thinking about the internal operations of the PNM at this point. Obviously, he's very dissatisfied. So the PNM has its own internal problems in trying to figure out what their message is, because their message is not clear. I know they're trying to have the opposition press conferences where they identify some of the issues that the government, in terms of the government's approach to certain problems, which you may agree with or you don't. They obviously are trying to clarify from that perspective, but they don't have a clear messaging of why they are the alternative at this point to the UNC and what that alternative means 4 years from now, because the UNC has been in power for over a year now. So you should be starting to honing in on your messaging of what makes you different. Because for a lot of the political history of Trinidad and Tobago, the political opponents have been kind of similar. In terms of their vision. They weren't ideologically much different when they came into power. This government obviously is very much ideologically different than traditional Trinidad and Tobago governments. And I don't know if their thinking is that they need to be that way to be transformational of the Trinidad and Tobago of Trinidad and Tobago itself, in terms of its culture, in terms of how we do things we do. If that's what they're thinking, is it simply just copycatting a methodology? And they're just hoping that it works?
Yeah, Richard, I think...
I don't. That's why when I made the allusion to a painter painting a picture, it starts to become clear. But certainly a lot of people in the country feel a little despondent and feel that there is like a Mordor type darkness moving across the country. If I were to use an analogy from Lord of the Rings. So what is it?
Yeah. I was listening to a guy on social media, I think just yesterday, and he was saying the people not going to forget because we vote out governments here. We don't vote in parties. We vote out governments. And to Penelope Beckles' credit, she is clearly a different type of leader that we have had in a long, long time. Right? We would have had Dr. Rowley since 2010, and we would have had Mr. Manning prior to that for quite a bit of time. She is clearly a different type. She is not as how I should put, as vocal as our past leaders, and clearly she's not as vocal even as this current prime minister, who is clearly showing, and you said it the other day, and I agree with you, a kind of revenge attitude to fix this, to get back at people who would have stressed out, because she had a lot of stress. She went through a lot of stress in that 10 years, not just from the PNM, from even within her own party.
But
and
within her own party, she faced a lot of pushback.
Yeah,
and I suppose that's why she's so big on loyalty.
Yeah. So nothing wrong with that. But so we vote out parties, and it's clear that we vote out government. Sorry, it is clear that this government, regardless of what they do down the road, will probably be voted out. Yeah, because that's our nature. They will probably be voted out once it's a democratically held election. They will probably be voted.
All elections generally have been democratically held, so we have to assume that's what it would be.
Right.
But when there is a caveat to that, they have 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were really to be transformational of Trinidad and Tobago in a positive way, and remember, they say all politics is local. It's always about self-interest. It always comes down to self-interest. Is my life better? Do I feel better? Do I feel safer? Do I feel more confident? Do I feel more optimistic? All of those things, some more easily measurable than others, will factor in how people vote 4 years from now. Because 4 years is a long time. 4 years is a long time in politics, eh?
Right.
So, and so, can you achieve those kinds of ends? And I think this government would be well to follow the UAE in having a Ministry of Happiness, because you get the sense that a lot of Trinbagonians are not happy, that they are existing, but they're not living.
Yes.
And if that's the mood of a country, it's not good politically for all manner of things. And even if you hype up, okay, we have this investment coming and that investment coming, all of this is affected by the way that you speak, who your agents are and how they're speaking to the country and how they're dealing with the conflict and dissent that happens in every democracy. And also policy directions, because you've had several policy directions that have irked people, including the landlord tax. And this is an opportunity where I feel the PNM has failed, and I'll explain to you why. You have the landlord tax, which is probably disproportionately going to affect seniors more than people who are younger, because seniors are the ones who generally do improvements or have invested in properties as a retirement income, right? A lot of seniors do that. So a lot of landlords across the country are generally over the age of 65, broadly. A lot of them are. These are the people who have to navigate your highly bureaucratic process to pay a tax every quarter. Unwieldy, and I'll explain to you why it's unwieldy. It's a perfect example, rather than saying we will bring back CPEP, which is vague and has different kinds of connotations to especially to independent voters who may look at make for work programs in a particular way. Come with tangible stuff about what is your alternative view of the country and how you would run it. That landlord tax was a wonderful example. You can say, look, we think that is unwieldy, and we think that there is a high percentile of our senior citizens who are using this as an alternative income, and you are giving them bureaucratic burdens that are going to make their life more complicated than it needs to be. And if it is a revenue generating measure, which is all you can see it as, then let's make it simpler. Let's say either, and the PNM can have a vision, we either say we agree that income generating properties need to pay something to help with the situation we are in now, but we propose that it be very simple and very basic, that you get a landlord certificate that says you're an authorized landlord that tenants can check, and once you are earning less than $500,000 a year, your fee is $1,500 for the year. If you're earning more than that, your fee is $3,000. You make it simple because of the age group that you're dealing with. The PNM has offered nothing. As far as I'm aware, the only thing I think I have heard them say was something about we will bring back CPEP. In some kind of tangential conversation, it was said that
I didn't hear that.
Yes, Penelope Beckers, I think, said it. Some version of that. The stream, people in the stream could follow. And that's why I'm saying this government is obviously pursuing a certain direction in terms of their philosophy and how they see the state should be run, which is their prerogative because they were given that mandate by voters. So you can't fault them for having a particular vision of how they seek to govern the country. That's the mandate you were given. What's your countervailing mandate? What's your countervailing view or position on some of these issues?
Yeah.
And I know they deal with the energy sector and where they think the government is bundling on that. But you have to give a broader vision of how you intend. If you're reading the sentiment of the country and you feel that people feel a little hopeless, and like the example I gave that they're existing, not living, how do you feed into that in terms of getting people hopeful that you are a better choice 4 years from now? Because you have to lay the groundwork all now.
Yeah, Richard.
Because people already have questions about your leadership style.
Richard, but nobody in the media asking those questions. See those questions you asking? Nobody in the media asking those questions because guess what? There are no bacchanal in that. They have no bacchanal in that. Nobody in the media asks it because Ms. Beckles is making herself available to the media every week. I've never heard anybody ask her that. You understand? But I'll tell you something though, when you spoke about the happiness and so on, and this government and so on, and how they have enough time, this government had to change plenty of the personnel if they have to go back to the polls and hope to get a second mandate, a continued mandate. You see, a lot of the people who are heading some of those ministries or who are in some of those ministries need to go. And they need to go fast. Anytime they go down the road with some of them, trust me, people are not going to forget and they're going to vote them out. Simple. They don't care who coming next. They are going to vote them out. Plain and simple. Because you know why? They were clever enough not to put them in the front line going into that last election. But as soon as they won, bam, they end up in ministries and so many different places. Anytime they go into an election with them again, trust me, they are not going to be so fortunate. That's my sense of it.
Yeah.
All alone is what's
it's like and we could open up the lines. I know we talk a lot, but we could open up the lines 281-1315, 281-1315. It comes back to that thing, Wendell, which we spoke about maybe a couple of weeks ago, where I said this government doesn't come across very friendly. A lot of the ministers don't come across very friendly. They come across very incommunicative, and the cancelling, or it seems like the cancelling of the post-cabinet press conference is an indication of that. So that there seems to be a reluctance to engage. Very few do on any consistent basis. And so that feeds into a kind of personality. It feeds into not being friendly, unapproachable, condescension in terms of how you're governing, which of course Trinidadians and Begonians don't like. And so they have to find a way to bridge that gap and to come across a little. You could have your perspective of where you see the country is going to go, but there is a way of how you deal with that in terms of the language you use and who you have as your talking heads. And if people are inappropriate in your messaging, you should hold them accountable. And I know there's an ongoing furor on social media right now concerning that. But anyway, we talk plenty. Let's see if we could take some of the calls.
All right. Well, let's go for the news, and then we'll come back.
It's that time already? We ain't talk so much, Sid.
Well, ain't talk that much, but I understand. Well, ain't see each other for a long time.
All right, when we come back from the news, people, only calls. We ain't talking again.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on Net Radio and Guile TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. Public Utilities Minister Barry Paterath says his security detail was increased after police received an alleged confession from a man claiming a former government minister offered him $250,000 to kill him. Paterath confirmed that his protection has been strengthened with support from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Special Branch. The man, who was in police custody on an unrelated matter, reportedly gave a statement to police alleging he was approached in November last year and offered money, weapons, and other resources to carry out the attack. The former minister named in the statement has not been identified publicly. Police have not confirmed details of any investigation into the allegation. The Bali Zay House case could become a landmark test of Trinidad and Tobago's unexplained wealth legislation. Attorney Syra Locken says it appears to be the first reported case in which the law is being used against a political party, after the High Court ordered the People's National Movement, PNM, to explain the funding behind the construction of its headquarters. Locken stressed that the preliminary order is not a finding of wrongdoing, but said the case could help clarify how the law applies to political parties and strengthen future unexplained wealth investigations. She added that the effectiveness of the legislation will depend on thorough investigations, specialized expertise, and its fair and consistent application, regardless of political affiliation. Meanwhile, the People's National Movement says it will vigorously challenge a High Court order requiring it to explain the funding behind the construction of its Balasier House headquarters. The order was granted under Trinidad and Tobago's Unexplained Wealth Act after police applied for a preliminary order as part of an investigation into the multi-million-dollar project. PNM Chairman Marvin Gonzalez described the move as a politically motivated witch hunt, insisting the party lawfully raised funds through donations and fundraising activities over many years. He says the party has assembled a legal team and will pursue every legal avenue to defend itself, while accusing the government of using state institutions to target the opposition. Police are now investigating the death of 14-year-old Andrea Francis as a homicide after an autopsy found she was beaten and strangled. Andrea, who had recently passed for her first-choice secondary school in the SEA exams, was initially believed to have died by suicide after she was found unresponsive in her bed at her Enterprise home on July 4th. However, the post-mortem found she died from manual strangulation, blunt force trauma to the head and eye, and aspiration pneumonitis. Her father, Andy Francis, says he was shocked to learn of the findings through social media, claiming he was never informed of the autopsy results by investigators. Police say the investigation is ongoing and no one has been detained. New figures show the Strategic Services Agency intercepted more than 2 million phone calls and data communications between 2018 and 2023. But no convictions have been recorded from cases using that evidence. The disclosure comes as attorneys for 2 men being held under preventive detention orders challenge the government over the state of emergency, arguing that missing annual intelligence reports have prevented proper public scrutiny of the surveillance powers being used. The reports show thousands of interceptions, several arrests, and a handful of criminal cases, but no convictions linked to intercepted communications. Meanwhile, a new international report has also identified Trinidad and Tobago among countries believed to have used sophisticated commercial spyware between 2024 and 2026. Finally, a British couple is in intensive care after being rescued from a ravine during deadly wildfires in Spain's Almeria province. The couple, who are believed to have been hiking when they were caught in the blaze, were found badly burned and semi-conscious by civil guard officers early Friday. Rescuers said the pair suffered severe burns covering about 40% of their bodies and were taken to hospital for treatment. The wildfires have killed 12 people, including 4 believed to be British nationals, and destroyed more than 6,000 hectares of land. Authorities say the fire has now been contained, while hundreds of firefighters continue recovery and monitoring efforts. And that is NETT Radio News at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio. NETT Radio.
Welcome to Inside the Net on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio. Our daily insights as we count down the journey to FIFA World Cup 2026. Here is today's insight.
Every FIFA World Cup tells the story of football's evolution. Since the first tournament in 1930, the competition has grown from just 13 participating nations into the world's biggest sporting event, watched by billions across every continent. Now the tournament enters a brand new chapter. For the first time in history, the FIFA World Cup will feature 48 nations, creating more opportunities for countries to compete on football's biggest stage and giving millions more supporters the chance to see their national team at the tournament. For emerging football nations, this expansion represents more than additional places. It represents hope for millions of supporters around the globe. Countries that once saw World Cup qualification as an impossible dream can now realistically compete for a place among the world's best. The expanded tournament also means more matches, more unforgettable stories, more passionate supporters, and more opportunities for football's next generation of stars to introduce themselves to the world. For established football powers, however, the challenge becomes even greater. With more opponents, new playing styles and longer campaigns, consistency, squad depth, and tactical flexibility will become more important than ever before. Every single match will matter more than ever before. Every decision will carry greater significance. And every nation, whether making its World Cup debut or chasing another title, will believe it has a genuine opportunity to create history. The FIFA World Cup has always been about bringing the world together through football. Now, with more nations represented than ever before, that vision becomes even stronger. As fans gather in stadiums across Canada, Mexico, and the United States, the tournament will celebrate not only excellence at the highest level, but also the remarkable growth of the global game. A new era has arrived. New nations, new heroes, new dreams, and perhaps a new champion. Because no matter how much football changes, one thing remains the same. The FIFA World Cup continues to unite the world like no other sporting event. This has been Inside the Net, Road to FIFA World Cup 2026 Insights.
You've been listening to Inside the Net as we count down the journey to FIFA World Cup 2026 on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
All aboard! Calling all you NETT Radio listeners and fans. It's time to pack your cooler, gather your crews. Join us on NETT Radio, NETT Radio, Halloween, Cooler Crew in red, white and black. On board the luxurious Island Royalty, Saturday, 15th of August, boarding at 7 p.m. from Hardcuts, Shagaramas. We sail at 8 p.m. sharp. Enjoy great music all night long from your favorite NETT DJs, Sir Charles, CJ, Mr. Flavor, Doc International, RJ, and Fluffman.
Tell you you's a big dancer. Come show
Early
them you's a
bird
big
tickets
dancer.
are just $200 after $250. Get your tickets now at Crosby in St. James, Rumba, St. James, Bobby's Bar in Crep, Fats International in Arima, Kiss Square Fashions at C3 Center, West Mall and Eastgate Small, and all NETT DJs. No glass bottles allowed. Bring your cooler, bring your crews, and let's celebrate together. NETT Radio, NETT Radio, Halloween, Cooler Crew, Saturday, August the 15th, aboard the Island Royalty. For information, call 638-2609 or 497-7173. Call we on the scene.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rum Box. Drinking out of the box.
Are you a business owner? Well, take advantage of NETT Radio and Guile Caribbean TV Christmas in July advertising special. Throughout the month of July, enjoy 33% off all advertising packages. Whether you are micro, small, medium, or large business, now is the perfect time to put your product and service in front of the people who matter. Reach your audience through radio, television, and social media, all at 33% off. Don't miss this limited Christmas in July offer. Call us today at 281-1315 or 299-5156 and let NETT Radio and Guile Caribbean TV help you grow your business. But hurry, this special offer ends July 31st. It's Christmas in July on NETT Radio and Guile Caribbean TV.
End times is here. Are you prepared? Check us on New Era TT Radio or NETT Radio with Brother Raka and Brother Yatazakawa on Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. End times is here. Stay tuned.
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio, NETT Radio.
All right, everybody. So we welcome you back to the Breakfast Show. Of course, you are listening to NETT Radio. And let me give you a time check. I want to make sure we'll keep you in check with time. It's now 12 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. All right, so we're inside the third hour. A couple of things just to let you know. One is that coming up on a Tuesday now between 11 and 12 a.m., we have Denise Deming joining us with a program called Common Ground. And she'll be speaking with a number of different individuals there. We started a couple of weeks ago. Last week, I think it was before we spoke with Watchman. I remember Watchman. A very interesting conversation. Well, tomorrow, Tuesday, the conversation will be with Dr. Bo Tiwari. So that is something for you to look forward to. Common Ground, TNT, right here on the net. All right. So inside with Denise tomorrow will be Dr. Bo Tiwari. Also, people, we're getting ready for our Cooler Cruise coming up on the 15th of August. So guess what? You could call me right now and you could win yourself a ticket for the Cooler Cruise, right? Courtesy some of our friends who are out of Trinidad and Tobago. They have purchased some tickets and they have said you could give away this. This is our support to NETT Radio and the cruise. So you can call us now to win a ticket. But here is the condition. The only way you're going to get this ticket is you're going to win this ticket, but you have to buy a ticket also. All right? So if you know you're not going to buy a ticket, do not call to win the ticket. All right?
How you working out that one?
I mean, we can work on that. You can show your ticket. If you buy the ticket already, you can show it. You can, we make everything numbered. We have numbers for everything. Every ticket. We know what every ticket is. All right? So we can do it. We can do it that way also, right? But in any case,
you could be a prime minister or commissioner.
Yes, I know where every ticket is. There's a number on every ticket. I know where every ticket is. I know who has it. I know the number that they have. So you can't tell me I buy ticket number 3,000 and that person sell me the ticket. I know exactly who have everything. All right? All the ticket outlets. So you can call me right now. I'll give away one today, every day, and with the probably exception of Thursday, because we have something happening on Thursday with Dirk Barnes. We talk with Dirk on a Thursday, right? I don't want to delay his segment. So yeah,
So call us 281-13-152-995156. You can win one of the tickets, but you have to buy the other one, right? And it's as simple as that. And you can call us right now. Now, remember, you can pick up your tickets at Rumbox in St. James, Crosby's in St. James, also at Bobby's Bar in Currap, Fats International in Arima, K Squared Fashions. They are located at C3 Center, also at Movie Town and Westmore. Westmore. They are Westmore and Eastgate. Right, so mixing up the thing, right? Those are the three areas of it. So call us. We'll ask you a very simple question about the cruise that you've been hearing, and you can try and win yourself this ticket today, right? And that's keeping the lines too long open for this, right? If you're not answering it, today I will give it away another day. So 281-13-152-995156. Call us to tell us. We're going to ask a very simple question about the cruise, and you win a ticket, but you have to buy a ticket to get the ticket, right? So let's see who's online. Caller, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Mr. Grant, how you going?
Well, I'm glad to see you back, boys. You just went from this way.
Is Wendell you're talking about there, right?
Yeah?
Is Wendell you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, Wendell, Mr. Grant talking to you, eh?
I listen to him.
Right.
Yeah. Well, all the best. I ain't thinking about the cruise.
No, well, then you call him in the wrong time. You're not calling me back if it's Bacchanal and Tralala you're calling for. We get into that just now, right? So right now it's cruise time. So if you're calling for the cruise, that is what you need to call us right now. 281-1315. Now remember, it is August the 15th on board the Island Royalty. And I see I've given all the information, you know. It's on board the Island Royalty. We're boarding at the Cove, which is what they call in Hartscut in Chagaramas. We're boarding at 7 p.m. We're sailing at 8 p.m. And you get the party with the NETT DJs on board. DJ RJ is going to be there, Mr. Flavor, Luffman, and of course, yours truly, Sir Charles, will be there also on Docks International. So that is everything I could give you on the cruise here, right? The early bird tickets are $200. After that, you're paying $250, right? Win a ticket, buy the other one. All right. So I see I didn't have any of you calling me for the ticket, so I'll have to give it that ticket another day because I'm not delaying it too long. All right. All right. But that is our cruise. Always support the cruise. You know, we have a few tickets remaining still. And you can pick up those tickets at the advertised outlets. You can call any of the DJs, the presenters here, and we will get your tickets to you also. All right. So that is basically it. All right. So moving on from that, Wendell, before we get back into all the heat of the Bacchanal, I'll put something on the screen for you there. You seeing that?
Yeah, I saw this somehow early morning. I get up and I seen this and I seen Ainsley King. Well, I saw Kurt Allen conceding, and then I saw Ainsley King saying he won again. So his slate won, or is that the same people who were in office before?
I don't know if it was an actual slate as such, you know, or if it's people who came in from other area, but you know, these things is go.
Yeah, but they didn't give the vote count or nothing like that.
No, I
didn't see that. I didn't see that either online.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
but Ainsley King has returned as president of TUCO. In case you all didn't know, Vice President is Steve Pascal, General Secretary Shirlene Hendrickson, Assistant General Sec Morris Edwards, Treasurer Melissa Williams Campbell, Assistant Treasurer Kyrene Williams Figaro, Public Relations Officer Crystal Charles, Assistant PRO Sherma Orr, Marketing Manager Joseph Adams, Education and Research Joseph Rivers, and Welfare Karine Ashe. And trustees are Kenson Neptune and Kenneth Thomas. But I know Devon Seals had held a position before, so his name is not there. I know Rondell Donowa had held a position before. His name is not there. So there have been some changes apparently.
There are some changes in the guards.
Yeah, in the guards.
All right.
So all the best to them.
Yeah, so the executive of TUCO spoke, the members of TUCO spoke. Yesterday was the elections. Coming up, we've been hearing all manner of stuff. I would hope that there is no sort of controversy after that, because when you query certain things and you are not sure and you want a change, if you don't go out and make that change, don't blame nobody after that. Yeah. So because there was a lot of controversy, there's a lot of talk going on before this election. I think there was actually a court order to try to postpone it, but that seemed to have failed, and it went ahead. So to all the members of TUCO who voted, you have your executive back in place, some new people, some of the old ones, and you guys move forward. Yeah. All right. So we've been talking, and Wendell and Richard talk on the last hour. Oh my gosh.
Well, hopefully NZ King will agree to an interview this time.
Well, maybe
not. How long is that position for? 3 years, not so?
Probably 3 years.
So you should talk plenty now.
Well, anyhow, so we can take your calls 2811315 or 2995156. Caller, good morning.
Hi. Good morning to Charles, Wendell, and Richard,
let's step aside for a little bit. But he'll be back just now. But go ahead, he's listening.
I'm calling for the ticket.
Oh, you're calling for the ticket? All right, okay. No problem.
You have a ticket already then?
Yeah, but you bought one already, or you're going to buy the other one?
I don't have any.
Right, but if you win this ticket, you have to buy a ticket. Eh? That's the only way you're getting the ticket. You hear me?
Well, you could win the ticket, but the only way you're collecting the ticket is to show your other ticket.
It's to show your other ticket, right?
Okay.
Right, so you could win it, but you have
to have a ticket.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand.
Right? So that is your name.
This one, you have to have an next one.
Yeah. All right. So basically, that is your name there, Keith?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, Keith. Well, here we're going, Keith. I asked you no question because you're the only man that called for the ticket today. So I'm giving you the ticket one time. All right. So we have a ticket for you. All you have to do is go and purchase the other one and come and collect this one that we have for you. Right?
We're collecting it.
You can call this very same number you're calling, and or you can leave a text here, and we will get back to you. Right?
Okay.
I will tell you exactly where to collect it, or we'll drop it for you.
Where you call the person?
Huh? Keith.
Where you call the person just now?
Keith.
That's your name?
Keith? Keith Clark.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, that's never showed up on the phone. Yeah. Right, so don't worry about that, Mr. Clark. So we have your down pack, right? So when you get your other ticket, just give me a call or a text, and we will arrange for you to get your other ticket, right?
Okay, sir.
No problem.
Thank you.
Have a great day, Mr. Clark.
Same to you all.
All right. Yeah.
That didn't sound like a mister, you know.
Huh?
That didn't sound like a mister, you know.
Yeah,
maybe there's a name before. Remember, call apps says give you a name, but they don't necessarily mean that the person on the phone. Eh?
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. Right, I'm gonna write it down in any case. Yeah. All right. Right, so people can call us for all the other tralala bacchanal going on. 2811315 2995156. Okay? And give us a call. Of course, the talking point this morning is this whole thing with Balize House. Now, I went and I pulled up some information here, Wendell.
On Balize House?
Not very Balize House. You hear that thunder in the back by me there, boy? What's going on here? Yeah, I'm talking about the what do they call it? The Proceeds from Crime Act or whatever is the case. Yeah. So they say I just reading this particular part because I asked a question, right? And it says that in March 2019, then PNM, led by Attorney General Faris Alwari, introduced the Civil Assets Recovery and Management and Unexplained Wealth Bill 2019. Because I remember that time he was talking about follow the money, right? They say it became law later that year as Act number 8 of 2019 after being passed by Parliament and receiving presidential assent. So it is a law. Interesting, they said that the Act created a legal framework allowing the state, right, to apply to the High Court, and I think that is what happened, for unexplained wealth orders. Now, if there are reasonable grounds to believe a person's wealth is disproportionate to their lawful income, listen to this part here, the court can require the person to explain how they acquired the assets. Failure to provide a satisfactory explanation can ultimately lead to civil forfeiture of those assets. Importantly, this is a civil process and does not require a criminal conviction before the asset can be recovered. All right, so.
But the asset, in this case, the asset is not owned by any specific person. So that's why I guess they bring in those high-priced attorneys to guide them through that, because this is not owned by any one person. It's not owned by the general secretary. It's not owned by the chairman.
But the organization, you know. So you may not be able to take action against an individual, but you could take action against the organization. So whoever heads the organization at that point in time, which in this case happens to be Ms. Beckles, right? She will probably have to draft pull her team together and defend whatever is coming there, you know, whatever documentation they need to provide. They will have to get it to satisfy the courts that this is how we acquired what we acquired. Right? So
this will be an interesting case. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting.
It's a real test of that particular law, actually, because I don't remember, or since it came into law at that point in time, I can't recall anybody or group being asked to produce their assets or explain their wealth. I can't recall any of that. Maybe it happened on a smaller scale and it went under the radar, but this is a big thing. This is the opposition you're talking about right now. So,
but they're asking an important question there. It'll be interesting to find out if, in fact, the then PNM government or the then under that government, that anything like that ever came up. Because when was the change of the $100 note? Do you remember all the talk surrounding that?
Yeah, I can't remember.
About
That would be probably right after that, because at the end of the day, remember the $100 note changed somewhere in COVID, not?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So
it will be right around that same time.
So you mean the PNM government under Faris Alwari, Attorney General Faris Alwari, bring an act in to try to catch these people because you had to have a purpose and they use it?
Yes.
Not the kids themselves?
Yeah, so that's what's going on. You know what the old people say, when you're digging hole, take care of falling.
Oh, God.
So now Faris have to go and explain his wealth.
Oh, Lord.
Well, let her go and pull out all them raffle ticket. All. You understand? And what's the cost of Alice's house?
Man, no, but I see we saying some kind of ridiculous figure. But Alice's house will cost $118 million. Come on. I think Robert LaHunt responded to that in today's papers. Let's just see where the case go. I think it's just a way of harassing the PNM. It's having them go to court and do and thing. I think that's just another. They know this not going anywhere, just like all the others before. They know this not going anywhere. And you see how that matter with the Hadid Sutram conspiracy to murder to now land? Them thing ain't going away. It's just harassment, harassing the people.
No, but in any case, if there is a situation, and it's not thing to balance the house, because people will already done start to say, Charles, you this. But at the end of it all, if whether it be in this case the PNM or whether it be anybody, if there is law and the law allows for the police, I suppose, because they are the ones who have to go after these situations, and they are going after it. I would hope at the end of the day, if people have unexplained wealth, that if you have to seize some of those assets, whether it be across the board, you have to go after it. So let's see where it goes.
Light loud enough.
Let's see where it goes.
Light loud enough.
Caller, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Miss Sampson.
Well, we missed you. Could we speak about the Pink Palace or not?
If you could speak about it, what is there to speak about with the Pink Palace?
The same way they're going at the Balisi house.
Well, who are going after it? You expect this commissioner to go after the Pink Palace?
Well, if you dig it at me, I could dig at you.
Well, you have to come back in power to dig at you first.
Yeah.
It's politics, Miss Sampson. I don't know if you know that, right? You think the commissioner just come up with that on his... You think the commissioner just come up with this on his own?
No, Miss Sampson. Yeah. Okay, Miss Sampson. You don't have to hush. You just have to be responsible. All right? Yeah. Wow.
The commissioner didn't just come up with this on his own, and say, hey, what are we going on with that building there? I wonder how that funded. I wonder, let me check that out. You think he came up with that on his own?
Yeah, because
no.
There's so much place besides that too. So if that is where it started, I waited to see where it ended. Do you understand? Come on, let's
The commissioner has shown his hand. If he didn't show his hand before, he show his hand now with this matter. Trust me.
Caller, good morning to you.
Morning, gentlemen. It's important that we connect the dots, right? So you all remember in the early 2000s, something called the JP squad under then Inspector Maurice Pickup.
Yeah, that was with the Piaco airport thing?
Right.
Yes.
The JP squad was directly under the control of the then Attorney General Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj.
Mm-hmm.
Move forward, the JP squad was formalized into the Anti-Corruption Investigation Bureau, and it was still under the AG's office. And then the and PNM came in.
You're kind of breaking up a little bit, answer. I don't know if you could just adjust
you get thin. You start to get thin.
Yeah, go ahead.
When the election came and PNM became the government, what they would have did, they formalized the ACIB entire unit from under the AG office and put it back under the police service, where it has been all the time since then. They come forward to this new AG coming in, and what is the first thing they did? They reinstituted the ACIB under the control and direction of the Attorney General. Now, all those legislation you all reference there, show me a wealth, and so on. Yes, it was passed by the PNM, and I recall the debate, and I see those provisions that read out there. Sir Charles, those were the agreements those were the amendments which were agreed to by the UNC that became law. Seriously watered down from what the PNM wanted to have in place. It was seriously watered down because of the slim majority the PNM had. But check this out. As you correctly said, both of you correctly said, you wonder if the PNM attempted to use it. No, because they had a UNC activist called
Balgobin.
Ravi or somebody like that.
Ravi Balgobin.
right, Balgovan Maharaj. And who was his attorney of choice? The former Attorney General under UNC. So that was happening. Every time that can to go after somebody, as an activist, matters warriors and challenging the court. You had the issue of the senior public servant, remember that, who was charged for allegedly doctoring taxes and had something like $1 million under the name. That was one of the matters that's in court now to show me well. You all recall that?
I don't actually.
Yeah, a senior official from the customs was found to have over $1 million in their account, and the wealth behind that person. That's what I'm telling you. So it's not that things not being done, but it's because of the personage of the person.
Right.
So once we hear politicians, the ears pick up, and all the journalists who get the information go after them with the sources, but they never hear about the sources with other people, right? That is one. I'm saying to you that when we talk about passing laws and the PNM, you have to get them that Mr. Stevens.
Yeah.
Never abuses legislation to go after people that they pass. We go back to Eric Williams and Mr. Khan with Dan Sook and so on, and his allegations. Was he ever charged for that? And PNM was in power that time. They didn't go after him for that. He was charged, yes, but there wasn't this great. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we had a compare and contrast, and we mustn't just say, well, hey, it didn't happen. I am telling you that the UNC has spent the last 10 years in case studying, and the PNM has to be on the offensive now because they didn't do that, and in the naivety, and that's what the UNC is doing. The UNC, and of course, powered by a former PNM Attorney General who was in the belly of the beast.
Yeah.
So they know exactly what they're doing, right?
And guess what? And who himself contributed to the building, the renovating of Bali's house. That same Attorney General would have contributed to the renovation of Bali's house.
What people must go back to, such as you can research it, I will just send you. But people should go back to when, as Attorney General, there was a motion of no confidence filed in the said John Jeremy, and he had to resign as AG. And why he had to resign as the AG? Go back and check that. Understand? That is in the public record there. In the public record. You can just Google it. Jeremy resigned, and you'll see who will come up. So, Charles, you can do that for homework, and then you'll come back tomorrow and say what it is. It's the first time a sitting Attorney General had a motion on no confidence passed by the Law Association that succeeded. That's John Jeremy Senior Counsel. So we have to be careful, and we mustn't forget history. And I want to say in final, congrats to the young athletes who were almost denied the funding. 19 medals. 19 medals and dominating the Jamaicans in many of the competition. And we won in areas that we have won. I think a young lady won the discus, beating 2 Jamaicans. We had in the under 18 boys gold and silver in good times. Our record was denied because the wind. It would have probably been an age group record, but because of the wind was over the limit. Young Miss Gans from Tobago, a massive long jump over 6 meters for her age group, right? But they almost didn't go. So you see the talent we have, invest in the youth, athletics and sports. That is what we take us somewhere. That's what we have to do, gentlemen.
Thanks, Anson. 19 medals, 4 gold, 7 silver, and 8 bronze. Well done.
That's excellent. Kola, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Buenas.
Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Sir Charles. Welcome back, Wendell.
Morning. Thank you.
Good to see you this morning. Wendell, I try, as I told you all, I was kind of out of the whole politics and all kind of thing, and was kind of reclusive. I'm not trying to get back in the right. I'm trying to make a decision that I want to try to participate in the next rounds of election and so on. And so far, what is going on there, I can't see, but I go start to be like Humpy Dumpy boy. I stuck on the wall probably.
But how you gonna make a change if you stay on the wall? You and Wendell on there to get back in the politics.
No, well, I'm trying to do that, but what is going on here, and nobody talking about that. Now, okay, let's look at the UNC with the help of the PNM. They advance the position already on electioneering and politics and all kind of thing, and we vote for them. We vote for them to carry the country forward, right? They're still in this kind of mode now. Now look at the trend. You come up in Parliament to talk about who on a exempt list from T and Tech. So you name all the PNM people and so on. Then they come into this diplomatic passport. Just the name PNM official. No much people have this diplomatic passport. That's why where Darren Ganga, Dwight York, all of them had diplomatic passport. But you just want to shame the PNM official. Now we come in Bali's house. Now I as I said, I don't have no horse in the race, and if the culpable are wrongdoing and all kind of thing, yes, certainly. But that shouldn't be in the public domain. We can't do nothing about that, right? So let's say, so Charlie, if you decide to save up your money all the time and you decide to build a big house in Batara, and people say, where we get all that money, boy? Do it like your thing to be in the public domain? They can investigate you. It's like financial intelligence unit and all kind of thing. When they come finish the investigation, then the public will hear Sir Charles, was charged because he built the house on ill-gotten gains and so on, right? That is stop. If we have serious issues, stop with this kind of petty foolishness, right? The next thing, I was listening for the longest while to see if any media house or anybody will bring up this. I think it's last week. I hear a so-called political science, and I have a problem with that, right? It's like Wendell on the show, and Wendell is a PNM. So in the discourse and anything, if you take a PNM bias, and then we can understand that declare itself is a PNM. But people professing to be political scientists and with obvious bias and so on, I can't tolerate that. Just state a bias or whatever, and we can go with that, right? Our political scientists, some Rampasad or something, I think so. She come out to defend the Prime Minister and saying, well, then they talk about the continued absence of the PNM from press conferences and thing and cabinet meeting, and she say the government is not competent to have no.
It's not against the law.
Right.
Yeah, basically that's what they were saying. It's not against the law.
Right.
It's not. Yeah.
Well, I want them when they come back to election next time, come back and tell me that what they discuss and so on and so in our business. We don't have to know what take place in the cabinet and how they vote and who oppose who and whatever. At the end of the day, a collective decision. And the outcome of the meeting, you have to tell that what is the cabinet. You had to come to the public for that.
Yeah.
And nobody's saying nothing but they're fine with that. Right?
All right.
So a lot of things, gentlemen, we have, and Richard was saying something. Why the PNM not raising the voice, this landlord tax and all kind of things, because they might do the same thing. They might do the same thing. We see some of them fellas arrogance in the last administration.
Yeah.
Right? And we problem is this. If the ship is sinking, brother, all hands have to be on deck. All hands have to be on board. You shutting out the public, right? And now they're going to make some foolish decision that will affect we and children for generations to come. And all we shut out and all our input is to wait until the next general election to give you a jersey and give you a rum and roti and nothing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I excellent contribution. I made those kind of comments in a private capacity, and people didn't like it. I said, no, people can't just be reduced. Your supporters can't just be reduced to when an election comes to make them feel good. You have to do more for them, which is why I have publicly said, I don't blame the UNC for engaging the people who they had out there championing the cause. I can't blame them for it at all. Mm-hmm. You understand? But well said. Good contribution.
Yeah.
Mr. Billy, good morning.
Thank you for taking my call on a very dull looking day, but you're on the bright side of things. I'm going by price man now, and I'm going to have a big meeting of popcorn, and I'm going to watch out. Because you see the caller before. The caller before said it. PNM is looking at PNM. The president is a bosom PNM. So it's PNM licking up PNM. It's like what the caller said. He said it. He had Trump. The man had Trump. I only watched it. I'm going to buy some popcorn, my price man. And I'm going to be watching everything. Because I know that AG now is a former PNM. And he was saying all these things. Look, Wendell said it, you know. He was part when the way you call it, the Balizé house. Look, Wendell says that is not Balizé house, but that is a construction of the PNM. And they want to know where they get that amount of money from. So it's question being asked. I say let it check forward beat. I know it's a lot of raffle. You have to keep to build a massive construction like that. So let me see what's going on. I watching.
Get the popcorn. Okay. No problem. Thanks very much, Mr. Billy. Caller, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning. First time I'm calling you fellas since you're on this frequency here.
Okay, thank you.
I listened to this forwarding money. I forwarded that bill. To me, that was the greatest of all the bills that Paris had brought to the house. But that bill was to be strengthened by the Revenue Authority and also the property tax. Without the Revenue Authority and the property tax, I can give you all sorts of statements how I build my house, and you may not be able to take it far. These fellows are just using harassment tactics. They know they cannot go far with that. They know that. But just harass. They know, one, there's no Revenue Authority, and the reason why they dismantled the Revenue Authority and the property taxes, because Paris was going to go after them, the Pink Paris in South and all them big buildings you see all across the Bay, La Francisque and Pinal. So when they dismantled the property tax, immediately it's hell for you to go after them. Some things I have in Wendell's name, some of my property in Sir Charles' name. So there's hell to get after me once there's no property tax law and no Revenue Authority. They knew that, and they went after that. The other thing is the idea of asking how I got my money without the revenue. Because somebody said it, I think it's somebody or one of you said it. I cannot tell you my donors. My donors, they want to be private. And let's say I am giving $2 million to Balizé House, but I am working in a UNC environment. I work in environment opposition. I don't want anybody to know that. So by you asking them to say who gives them the money and things, they're a lot of private people. They might have ministers in the UNC government who may be giving money to Balizé House. So asking these questions are hard, and these fellows know what they're doing in it. They know this is just to confuse the whole situation, take our mind off the road and the path that we have developed heading to the IMF. And the sad part of the whole thing is the PNM itself. The PNM still believe in the politics of 1980 and 1990, have a lot of slogans, ramble, by the UNC are into Cambridge Analytica. They have covered the whole area of social media. I did I'm a university lecturer, let me say that one time. I did after election, about 3 months after, I did a scientific research on why PNM lose. And forever I'm hearing nonsense. They were too arrogant, we raised salary, they wasn't in touch with the ground. None of those things are true. But the PNM continued to do it. I sent the research, the embodied research, to the PNM. I sent it, showing them the breakdown of what has happened and what will happen again if they do not act. But they continue.
But caller, before you go, within your research, as you said, if those are the things that people felt were not responsible, what are some of the things that you found that were responsible?
The main reason was flooding, was just as Cambridge Analytica said to them, flooding the zone, having an answer for everything. bringing issues that the thing was dormant, as the noise in Woodbrook area, bringing those issues to the plate. There was no one who had a problem who didn't see an answer in the UNC. Plus, they were colorful. It was frequent. They continue to say the same thing over and over until some people start to believe it. There are people who believe it. They believe that the UNC was going to win. They did not want to vote the UNC, so they stayed home en masse.
Okay.
All these were the issues.
Caller, after leave here because we run out of time, and I just have a couple of quarters. I'll try to get back inside before we put a wrap on it in a short, right? So, Dean, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I think the colorism around this whole unexplained wealth thing is, we think the substantial conversation is the weaponization of a police commissioner, his loss of his independence, and a police force being utilized with the private ambitions of politicians. And that is a concern. The unexplained wealth should be an independent conversation, investigation being done by the people. We could see the blurring lines between a commissioner and the ambitions of a political party in whatever thing. And I think that, to me, is the conversation. Unexplained wealth cannot be the bias, and we are seeing more and more biasness, and we are seeing this independent line between the commissioner and the PM more and more being eroded, and that is the concern we could have if we know that the UNC will get their president, then the independent senators will be affected. And so if you have all those things and ducks in a row, and we see any machinations of these things, and we have a conspiracy land issue, what next then with all these ducks in a row? That is a very troubling sign for an authoritarian situation to happen. And we see the weaponization of that happening now under a state of emergency. And now we're hearing some guy get threatened again. So setting up the whole conversation to extend again another. So we're seeing all the architecture and framework of these kind of things. It is blatantly in our face, but yet we falling for the little crumbs of the tricks of things. Substantial conversation. Is the police commissioner independent or not? And is he working on the ambitions of politicians? Need to be asked. Nobody in that, because we're running down, right? And that's what the other caller was saying, flooding the zone. So we run in that direction left when we're supposed to be focusing right. And that is the trick. And I think we need to worry about that. Yeah, man.
Okay, no problem. Thanks very much, Dean. And let me just take one more call before we get out here. I'll love the call, yes. Call me back.
As I said the other day, the only people in the UNC left to fight with is themselves, and it will happen. You feel that commissioner, he will do something one day that will run afoul of them, and trust me, they will deal with it. Wait and see. Dean, I agree with you. That to me, that is the biggest worry right now. That the fact that we have a commissioner of police who seem to be pandering to the politicians. But guess what? He is going to do until he do it to himself, just like the other commissioners before him.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to Charles Wendell.
Morning.
I agreed with a caller. You see, that property tax, that is the key to explain, follow the money, explain your wealth. Without that property tax, because a lot of people who never work a day in their life have some big properties transferred to their name. And if they had gone through with that, a lot of people would have to explain how they arrive at that. So the property tax was the key to explain your wealth. Because properties in your name, you would have to come and say, well, how you got it. And a lot of people, that's why the UNC blocked their property tax, and they never wanted to implement it. Act the tax.
But the fact of the matter too, caller, I'm agreeing. Most people with most people who have the means, right? Listen to me carefully. Most people who have the means don't put property in their own name. They create a business, they create a fund, they create some trust, and that's where the properties go. Most people who have more than multiple properties or who don't have no property in their own name.
Yeah, well, most people because they know how the thing is running, so people do things to get across it. And there are other institutions right now because I mean, if the police enter your premises and get a quantity of money in your place and you can't explain where you get it from, they have the right to seize that money, you know.
Yeah, but they are the first know it there.
well, I understand that. You understand? But they have to know it there, you know. And even like things you go to the bank and all that kind of thing. Now you can't. If when they'll give me a check, they want to know what the check is for and all them.
Yes.
You know. So a lot.
But you think they're asking people with massive amount of money and think them questions, Sir Charles? No.
Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, you know, I mean, whether it be this administration, last administration, we've been talking about white collar crime and that sort of thing. And if we are seeing some sort of movement where that is concerned, I'm not talking about anything that on the side of political motivation, but if you are seeing something taking place now, hey, we see where it will go.
Sir Charles, the rumor was that a certain type of people were involved in money laundering and drug running and all manner of things. You seen anything like that happening, sir? You seen any charges like that happening?
Man.
Guns in this place and drugs in this place like mad.
Yeah, but
what the allegations are now?
Yeah,
what it is?
And that's the thing, because at the end of it all, Wendell, and I think that is why they run down blue collar crime, so because blue collar crime easier to hold and lock up and deal with, but white collar crime is not easy to deal with. To find it, to trace it, to run it down, to get them to make mistakes and that sort of thing. It's not an easy thing, you know what I mean? So you could believe Mr. X have so and so financing, so and so, you could go by your house 15 times, you would never find nothing, you know.
Let me tell you something. The TTPS and the politics in Trinidad and Tobago have me so deflated now. It ain't funny. It just ain't funny. I have no hope in either right now. I hope it changed.
Let's see where it's going from here on. Who next? We never know, right? Anyhow, we get ready to wrap it up, people. Don't forget the Cooler Cruise is coming up. Get your tickets. Right, get them at go check out Wendell. He back in town. At least I hope that he back in town.
Yeah, back in town.
You never Wendell.
This morning.
You never know. Anyhow, but yeah, so go to Rumbox, get your tickets. Also, Crosby's in St. James. Pick up your tickets at Bobby's Bar in Kirab, Fats International in Arima, and also K Squared Fashion. They are at Eastgate Mall, West Mall, and C3 Center. Right now, tickets are just $200. After that, and who knows, tomorrow you can probably win another ticket. You know, you win one, you buy one. Simple as that. All right. All right.
Folks, have a wonderful day. Remember to let go and let God. It's a rainy day all over now.
It's a wonderful day. I'm just loving the weather. Yeah. Anyhow, people, so stay with us. Of course, our programming continues when we come off of these feeds. Come across netradiott.com. That's netradiott.com. And of course, listen to us on, of course, all of your streaming platforms at NETT Radio Trinidad. Until tomorrow, people, this has been
The Breakfast Show.
The Breakfast Show.
Get up. It's the time to start the day. The Breakfast Show is here. We bring in the soca way. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned on. From